Hello, hi my dear students, how are you? I hope you all are staying home and taking all the precautions to be safe. Okay, first of all, let me remind you this is me, your English teacher, Himanshi ma'am. And since right now we cannot come to school and meet each other in the classroom, I will have decided to come to your house and meet you there. You know, students, that right now our entire world is going through a difficult time, and this is the time to be strong and focus on our future. So, for that, I think it is time that we all start with a new session and start with learning new things. Is that correct? Okay. So, what I want to tell you is that first of all, congratulations to all my 7th class students for getting promoted in 8th class. Welcome to the new session. And so now students, the first topic, the first chapter in your English literature course book is going to be a very short poem. Well, before we begin with the chapter, I want to tell you that this is going to be a short and a kind of a funny poem. The poet of this poem is C.J. Dennis. Let me pronounce it once again. It's C.J. Dennis. While we go through these video lessons, I want every one of you, when you listen to me, you should have a pen and a paper in your hand. And you have to keep on making notes, because at the end of the lesson, I'm going to give you some home assignments which you have to complete. Okay, so now students, this poem, as I told you, the poem is written by C.J. Dennis. The spelling is C dot capital J dot Dennis, D-E-N-N-I-S, C.J. Dennis. Now, before we talk about the poem, I will talk a little bit about the poet. C.J. Dennis was an Australian writer and a poet, and he used to live in Australia with his wife. And most of his work, most of his poems are for children only. He used to write mostly for children, and he used to write funny and simple and easy poems mostly. This is one of his very famous poems, Triantiwontigongolope, and the title, as I just said, Triantiwontigongolope. Well, I know, funny title, right? Well, let me first spell it out for you. Everyone, take out your pens and write down the spelling. It's Triantiwontigongolope. Triantiwontigongolope. Once again, repeat after me. Triantiwontigongolope. Triantiwontigongolope. I know, funny and confusing at the same time, right? Well, students, Dennis has written this poem, and in this poem he talks about a really interesting and sort of an imaginary insect. He talks about an insect. He says that there is an insect which he has seen, which is really different from all the other kind of insects. He says, he describes the qualities and the features, what the insect looks like, and how the insect behaves and everything. So this poem is divided into 3 stanzas, and one by one we will be discussing all of them. In the first stanza, let me begin with that just for today. In the first stanza, the poet talks about the features, I mean the bodily features of the insect. Dennis, the poet, says that this insect, Triantiwontigongolope, it doesn't look like any spider, it doesn't even look like any housefly, it kind of looks like a beetle. Okay, well, next question. What is a beetle? What kind of insect is it? Have you ever seen it? Well, this is one more thing that you have to do now. You have to search on the internet about the insect beetle and what it looks like, so that you can understand the imagination of the poet, that because he was trying to relate this imaginary insect with a real beetle. Okay, so now the next thing is that as I told you, we are talking about the first stanza. In the first stanza, the poet talks about its bodily features. He says that it kind of looks like a beetle, and then he says that he says that it is going to be very difficult for the readers to learn the pronunciation, but I'm sure my students are smarter than others. They will easily learn the pronunciation, and whenever I ask from them, they will be able to pronounce it properly. Okay, now students, uh, when in the next video lessons I will be discussing about this poem a little further, but for now let's quickly summarize what we have discussed today. The first thing we have discussed is that we are starting with our course book, and the first chapter in the course book is a poem, and the title of the poem is Triantiwontigongolope, and the name of the poet is C.J. Dennis. Dennis was an Australian poet and a writer. And one more important thing, I completely forgot to tell you. This poem was written in 1912, 1912. Okay, as you all know that I'm very strict about these specific details, and I want everybody to remember that when this poem was written. Okay, next thing, in the next session I will discuss further about this poem, but till then what you have to do is, there is a little bit of homework you can say that I have for you. First thing, you're going to search on the internet about the insect beetle. You're going to learn the spelling. You're going to learn the spelling, and you're going to learn what it looks like. You're going to describe it to me. You should be able to describe the features. Second thing, you have to learn the pronunciation and the spelling of the title of the poem. Correct. Next thing, you have to search on the internet, and now listen carefully, this is the most important part of the homework. What you have to do is that you have to search on the internet about the poet C.J. Dennis, and I want you to go through his entire collection. That means that whatever other poems or other stories he has written apart from this chapter which we are going to have, I want you to find any other one poem which C.J. Dennis has written, and you are going to write about that poem, and you are going to tell me what else he has written, because right now all I know what Dennis has written is this poem. That's all. So well, take care. Hope to see you soon, and I will be soon coming back in this video lesson, and I hope that you all will do your homework nicely. Bye bye. Take care.